It was one of those biting November nights in Spokane, the kind where the wind cuts right through you and the streetlights flicker like they're about to give up. Old man Henry Whitaker, 83, sat hunched at a bus stop, his calloused hands gripping a worn wooden cane, his coat pinned with faded metals that glinted faintly under the dim glow. Vietnam vet, lived through hell, but you'd never know it from his quiet shuffle until three punks decided to make him their entertainment, and a pack of leather-clad bikers rolled in to rewrite the night. Hey, before we dive in, drop a comment where you watching from, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, maybe toss us a like. Your support keeps these stories alive, and trust me, this one's gonna hit you right in the chest. So let's get to it. Henry's lived in the same cramped apartment for years, a little place on the edge of town with a sagging couch, a folded flag on a shelf, and a box of photos smiling faces from a war that took most of him. He's the guy you'd see hobbling to the corner market every evening, 2 bus stops away, stubborn as a mule, waving off help with a gravelly, "I got legs, don't I?" Neighbors knew him as the quiet vet, tough as nails, but carrying a kind of loneliness that weighed heavier than his medals. He never talked about Nam, but you could see it in his eyes sharp, like he was still scanning for danger. That night, the air was so cold it stung your lungs. Henry sat at the bus stop, collar up, breath fogging, waiting for the 7:15 to take him home. He didn't see the 3 kids across the street, hoodies low, sneakers scuffing the pavement, laughing too loud, like they were auditioning for trouble. They weren't after snacks or a quick smoke, they were bored, restless, the kind of young and dumb that makes you itch for a fight. And Henry, with his slow steps and army cap, looked like an easy mark. They sauntered over, all swagger and sneers. The leader, a lanky kid named Dylan with a chipped tooth, leaned in close. "Yo, old man, you lost or just too slow to catch the bus?" His buddy, a stocky kid with a buzzcut, let's call him Trey, snatched Henry's cap, the one with U.S. Army vet stitched in gold, now faded to a dull yellow. Henry's hand reached up, steady as stone, and he said, low and calm, "That cap's seen more courage than you'll ever know, son." "Oh, that got him." Dylan's smirk twisted, like he wasn't used to pushback. The third kid, skinny, freckled, nervous Joey, probably laughed to cover his unease, but you could tell he was just following the pack. The first shove came fast, Dylan's palm slamming Henry's chest, knocking his cane to the ground with a clatter. Henry stumbled, caught himself on the bench, his jaw tight. He'd faced worse jungles, gunfire, nights where you didn't know if you'd see dawn, but this was different. This was kids, barely old enough to drive, spitting on everything he'd fought for. Trey kicked an apple from Henry's grocery bag, watching it roll into the gutter. "Oops, clumsy grandpa," he mocked, circling like a hyena. Joey mimicked Henry's limp, staggering in exaggerated loops, laughing like it was a game. A couple walking by slowed, glanced, then kept moving. Nobody's business, right? Henry's heart pounded, not from fear, but from a slow-burning anger. Respect, he thought. What happened to it? He straightened, looked Dylan dead in the eye, and said, "Enough." That word carried a lifetime of weight, but it wasn't enough to stop a fist already curling. Dylan tossed Henry's cap into a puddle, sneering, "Go fetch, soldier." Trey's fist grazed Henry's cheek, a shallow cut, blood mixing with the taste of iron in his mouth. Henry's knees wobbled, but he didn't fall. He saw flashes as platoon, brothers who never made it home, whispering, "Hold the line, Whitaker." But he was alone now, just an old man against 3 kids who saw him as a punching bag. Joey pulled out his phone, grinning. "This is going viral, old Mank knockout." That hurt worse than the hit, the idea of his life, his service, reduced to a cruel TikTok. Then, out of nowhere, a low rumble broke the night, not thunder, but engines, deep and mean, shaking the street. 6 motorcycles roared up, headlights slicing through the dark, chrome gleaming like knives. The kids froze, their bravado leaking like a punctured tire. The bikes pulled up, engines snarling, and the riders stepped off, big guys, leather jackets patched with Iron Reapers in bold red. The leader, a bear of a man with a gray-streaked beard and tattoos snaking up his neck, call him Marcus, yanked off his helmet, his eyes locking on Henry, bloodied but unbowed, gripping the bench like it was a lifeline. Nobody said a word for a moment, just the hum of idling engines. One biker, a wiry guy with a scar across his cheek, knelt and picked up Henry's cap from the puddle. He brushed it off, gentle as if it were a relic, and set it back on Henry's head. "You okay, sir?" he asked, voice rough but kind. Dylan muttered, "We were just messing around." But Marcus cut him off, stepping forward, his shadow swallowing the street. "Messing around?" he said, voice low, like a blade sliding out. "You think it's fun to jump a man who carried this country through hell?" The kids shuffled back, eyes darting, but the bikers closed in, a wall of leather and steel. Marcus turned to Henry, softening. "You all right, sir?" Henry nodded, catching his breath, and whispered, "Don't hurt him. They're just kids." That stopped Marcus cold. Here was this old man, bruised, bleeding, still asking for mercy. The bikers exchanged looks, like they saw something bigger than themselves. Marcus nodded. "No fists, sir, but they're gonna learn respect tonight." He turned to the kids, pointing. "Pick up his groceries. Every damn apple." Dylan scoffed, but one rev of Marcus's engine shut him up. The kids scrambled, hands shaking, gathering the scattered fruit like it was evidence at a crime scene. Marcus wasn't done. "You're walking him home. Every step. And you're gonna look at the man you disrespected." The kids froze, but the biker's stares burned holes through him. No way out. Henry leaned on his cane, still dazed, as the kids fell in line, one carrying his bag, the others trailing like scolded dogs. The bikers followed, engines rumbling slow, a rolling thunder that made windows rattle. Neighbors peeked out, jaws dropping at the sight. Three punks escorting an old vet, shadowed by a pack of bikers who looked like they'd just as soon burn the town down. Henry whispered, "This ain't necessary," but Marcus just said, "It's more necessary than you know, sir." They hit a dark alley, a shortcut to Henry's place. Joey, the skinny one, muttered, "This place is creepy." Henry stopped, leaning hard on his cane, and looked at him, eyes like steel. "Creepy? Try being 19, kid, walking through a jungle where every shadow's got a gun." The words landed like a slap. Joey looked away, cheeks red. Henry kept going, voice quiet but heavy. "Fear's not the problem. Acting like a coward is." The alley went silent, just the low growl of bikes at the entrance. Halfway through, Henry's legs gave out, his cane slipping. The grocery bag hit the ground again. Dylan and Trey hesitated, but Joey, the nervous one, dropped to his knees, grabbing Henry's arm. "I'm sorry," he mumbled, barely audible, his voice shaking. Marcus, watching from behind, said, "Louder." Joey swallowed, eyes wet, and said it again, "I'm sorry." The others mumbled apologies too, heads down, like kids caught stealing. Henry looked at M, not angry, not smug, just steady. "Respect don't cost a dime," he said, "but it can save everything." They came out of the alley to Henry Street, old brick buildings glowing under streetlights. People leaned out windows, some clapping, some just staring, like they were watching a movie. Henry felt something he hadn't in years, not shame, but pride, like he was marching again, not alone this time. Marcus leaned in, voice low. "Sir, you don't owe us nothing. We owe you. This is about reminding everyone, those kids, this neighborhood, that men like you ain't forgotten." At Henry's building, a tired old place with a buzzing porch light, Marcus stopped the kids. "You started this. You finish it. Carry his bag up." They groaned but obeyed, helping Henry up the cracked steps. At the top, Henry turned, looking at the bikers, their bikes lined up like sentries. His knees shook, but he raised a trembling hand and saluted, eyes shining. Marcus and the others snapped too, returning it, leather and tattoos turning into something sacred. The kids watched, frozen, like they finally got it. "Dignity's not a meme, it's a damn promise." Henry whispered, "Thank you, fellas," his voice breaking, not from weakness but from a gratitude too big for words. Marcus nodded, pulling on his helmet. "You're not forgotten, sir." The bikes roared off, shaking the night, leaving the kids standing there, groceries in hand, silent, changed. Next morning, the neighborhood buzzed. People swapped stories, bikers, kids, an old vet walking tall. The corner store clerk, wiping down the counter, told everyone, "Henry Whitaker's a hero, and those reapers? They made damn sure we remembered." The kids kept their heads low at school, no more strutting, no more loud laughs. Joey left an apple on Henry's porch, not saying a word, just a quiet nod to something new in him. Henry sat by his window that evening, cap on his head, flag on the shelf. He thought about the kids, the bikers, how life can surprise you, even when you're 83 and feel invisible. A knock came. Marcus, helmet in hand. Just checking in, sir. Henry gripped his hand, voice thick. You didn't just save my night. You reminded me this world still got heart. Marcus smiled, rare and real. We'll always remember, sir. As the rumble of Marcus's bike faded, Henry whispered, hold the line. Not for war anymore, but for life, for the dignity you guard till your last breath. That night, respect came back to a quiet street. An old vet stood taller. 3 kids started to grow up, and a pack of bikers proved heroes don't always wear capes, sometimes just leather. So what do you think? Were the bikers right to step in, or should the kids have faced the cops? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about respect, justice, and what you'd do if you saw this go down. Share this story if it hit you, and subscribe for more that'll make you feel something real. Until next time, keep holding the line.